Hi everyone, hope you're having a good day. Today I thought we would do this little booklet, which I've totally fallen in love with. This is the cover page, and then inside there are either pages with images or verses. Verses like It's No Use Going Back to Yesterday Because I Was a Different Person Then by Lewis Carroll. I don't know what that is, but it's pretty. Friendship is unnecessary, like philosophy, like art. It has no survival value. Rather, it is one of those things which give value to survival by C.S. Lewis. And these are papers from Eno Greeting that you can get on Amazon. It's never too late to be what you might have been. George Eliot. These papers are so pretty. So yeah, that's our little vintage booklet. So I'm going to show you how to do that. A shout out to Lori Marie Jenkins, who did a video that explained how to put the booklet together. She did sort of there is a specific name for the type that she was doing, but I decided to use that technique, but to use it for a vintage booklet. So we're using plain, ordinary playing cards. Now I've covered both sides with cardstock, and in my case I chose a light cardstock because I'm going to be placing these tracing paper images on top, and I wanted a light background to show off the black and white. So, and I've done a video on how to make these, so you might want to look at that if you're interested. So yeah, there's two pieces of cardstock there, one for the front, one for the back. And we're going to be making these little flaps. What happens is you put the flap here, and then you set on your next card, and then another flap, and then a card, and the flap keeps your cards from sticking together and gives you it's like a binding, ends up with your nice little booklet. So to make those little flaps, I took a card and divided it into half. And the card's almost 3.5, so what's that, like pretty well 1 3/4, something like that. 1 3/4 is about halfway. And then simply cut that. Fold it in half as best you can. And that makes our little flaps. Now, I don't have a bone folder, so I find this works pretty well the same. Now I have all my materials together. Today we'll put together 3 or 4 pages, 4 or 5 pages. So yeah, so that's how you make your little flap. And you can use what you like to cover the flap. Here I've used some more of the decorative papers. So let's see. We have this going there, this is going here, and then we're going to have the back cover of the, the card before it, the page before it. So this is going to cover that page. so that we have, when you open it up, this is what you're going to see, like this. This is this, and then our image and our flap. In this case, I just drew in a design, but okay. So we will start off by adding our flap. We want something fairly substantial for a glue, because this is going to end up being our binding. So we want something that we can be assured is going to hold it. And that would be Aleene's tacky glue. Sorry about the arm there. Okay. Just place that on there. Make sure you're lined up with the top of the card. And I'm going to hold it there for a minute. Make sure my glue adheres to my surface. There we go. Then we're going to add our image, which in this case is a pretty flower. Now I just leave that, I can trim that after. Better to have it a little too big than a little too small. So, and in this case I use glue stick. Don't worry about the inside of this, because it's going to be closed with the next page of our little booklet. And as usual, instead of using my phone book, okay, I want to make sure to get this bud in there. So there we go. And then just trim off the excess. Ideally, you would let that glue dry a little bit so that you're not getting glue on your scissors, but for the sake of time, I'm trying to move along a little quicker today. Now what I do, you're going to get little wrinkles, but if you come in with a heat gun or a hair dryer and apply some heat there, I think what it does is it warms up the glue underneath and then makes it a little more liquidy, and then you can smooth out your page from there. Okay, so that basically is a page done. Now we'll set this up. This is going to be our background when the time comes. And let's see. Let's do this one. Again, my flap is glued on to my page. Going to add my image. Now this one's a little more narrow than, I think I have a larger one that I chose. We'll look for that in a minute. Meanwhile, we'll do this one. Glue our tab on. Just line it up with your there we go. Hold that for a second. Gently from the center out, apply your image. Okay, we'll set that up there. Actually, what we can do is now glue these two together and start creating our booklet. Let's do that. And I wonder why my fingers are always so dirty. Okay. We'll just set this on here. Line it up. Okay, we're going to let that dry and later we will come back in. apply our back. Okay, let's do one that's a verse. I don't know if I used this one in the other booklet. It's no use going back to yesterday because I was a different person then. Lewis Carroll. Okay, so this one is done. I already applied the lettering, the words, so we can just add this to our booklet. I obviously need one of those caps that you just set the glue back in upside down so it pours out easily each time. And this one's getting relatively empty, so okay. The trick is to try to line them up so they're all fairly even. And you can feel that with your fingers. Okay. Now we can do, now where's our this is the card I cut up when we started. We could apply that. It's going to slide around because it's liquid glue, so once you find your spot, maybe hold it there for a good 15-20 seconds till it grabs. Okay. Then we're going to add our image. I think I'm going to change the page. And gently from the inside out, pushing out any air or bubbles that may start there. Okay. Now we need to give these a bit of time for some of that glue to dry and set. So we will come back. Okay, Our glue's all dried, well, dried enough. And let's take a little peek at where we're at, sort of a recap. This is a playing card that I've covered with cardstock on both sides. And then measured half of our card, folded that in half, and that's going to be our flaps that will separate our pages. So that will be glued on there, and then we will come in with another page which will be glued on, and then we'll have another flap, and then so on and so on. So this is our book so far. Now I've chosen some papers for the back flap for this section, and some papers to cover our card here. So let's put our this little section down. And then we can with a little Mod Podge, we can glue our back on here. Now it's okay if it comes up a little bit at the top here. We can always go in and trim that off. Okay. Now our next page again. No, that one's done. This one's done. We just need to glue our back page on. And these make such delightful little books. Now, have we done this one? The flap is done. We will do our back page. Now I tried to choose my back pages based on how busy this page is. Oh, try this again. Nope. Well, it's always a treat when you have to, when you put something down and you don't have to rework it. It's like in carpentry what they say, measure twice, cut once. Okay. Now, so you can add as many pages, obviously, as you desire. Now, just for the sake of this video, I just decided to do 5 pages. And I do like to put in ones with a verse. It just breaks it up a little bit. Some flowers, some birds, a verse, you know, a bumblebee, a queen bee, no less. Okay, we can come in now and trim down the pages we just added. The, you know, the coverings. Now I happen to pinch off my edges here, you know, clip off my edges to make them semi-rounded. You can do that, or you don't have to. Up to you. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Now this I had to lay down because the card was, I could see the card slightly, so I'm going to dry that a bit. Okay, what we're going to do is come in now with the Stabilo pencil. I can see where I need to cut here. Helps if you have a pair of scissors that aren't full of glue. So I'm going to wipe those down right now. Okay. A couple more there. There we go. So this is the top, and I'm thinking, because I do have one again with some of the card showing, some white gesso on top of that, I think would work to make a more uniform top. But this is what our little booklet looks like. Very cute, so pretty. Now we're going to come in to add a little bit of Stabilo to, again, we're going for a vintage look, so we want to sort of antique age our pages. So Now you can use a water brush, Q-tip, to wet the Stabilo, which activates it. I think I want a little bit up here too. This makes such a pretty book in my mind. Now, you can work, you know, you could do a botanical book. You could do a grunge book. Now, I mentioned Lori Marie Jenkins. She does a lot of sort of grungy work. Beautiful. She's one of my mentors. Okay. Now that adds a great deal, don't you think? Now this will dry at some point. Maybe not before I finish this this video. Oh, I did this little crown up here using that tracing paper technique. Because this is a queen bee, you know. Now we can come up here. And as I may have mentioned, I'm new to happily looking for subscribers. And if you've enjoyed this video, which I really hope you have, a thumbs up would be lovely and very appreciated. And if you'd like to do another booklet like this, and maybe do a more grungy look, a little bit a little bit darker maybe, let me know in the comments. We could do that together. So I think you get the idea with the Stabilo pencil, just the great effects you get with this. So I'm going to leave it there. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And until we see each other again, have a great week. You take care. Bye for now.